is the future, and today is a gift. That's why they call it the present. Our theme today is time traveling, and when you think of time travel, it's always to make it work in your favor. If I go back to sometime in early 2000, I'm going to put all my money on the Boston Red Sox so that you guys can win a lot of money, right? If we knew what we knew today, what we would have known then, it would be much different. But I think we need to start focusing more on appreciating this current moment.
Hi.
Sarah gave a really great speech about living in the now. Well, we're not talking about living in the now. We're talking about time traveling. And today actually happens to be the date when Back to the Future, they go to the future, right? 30 years, it was in 1985. If you guys know, 1985 was 30 years ago. I'm going to have a lot of really fun questions about time traveling, a few that do have to do with the movie Back to the Future, so we should have some fun. So for now, let's not focus on the now. Let's focus on the past and the future. Mr. Toastmaster.
I'd like to start on the speeches portion. These speakers will have 5 to 7 minutes to speak. We'll start with Sarah. Sarah's been a Toastmaster for 3 months. She joined in order to improve her speaking ability and her presentation skills. And today's her third speech, the Get to the Point speech from the Communicator Manual. The objective of this speech is to prepare a speech that has clear and general purpose, as well as a specific purpose. And she will have 5 to 7 minutes to complete her speech. The title is, It Ain't Over Till It's Over.
Fellow Toastmasters, thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. America loves sports. We spend tons of money buying the gear, going to the games, decorating out our cars. We love to personalize things, and we have a lot of sports that are out there. We have our football, basketball, baseball, hockey, and that's all great. But there's only one sport that is known as America's pastime, and this is baseball. Baseball is a very nostalgic sport. There's a lot of pop cultural influence that's come from it, and there is a lot of strategy involved. It is our greatest pastime, and it is still very relevant today. So, nostalgia. Most of us have probably played t-ball as our first sport. We probably remember our first time going to a baseball game, going to the stadium, getting our seats, getting excited, we're feeding off of the crowd, feeling the atmosphere. Maybe it was a nighttime game and the lights come on and the sun is setting. It holds a lot of memory for most of us. You go there and you look at the young kids and you're like, oh, I was like that. And you're like, maybe when I have kids, I'll bring them to the stadium and watch them experience what we've all experienced before. Maybe I'll sign my kid up for t-ball. That way I can sit in the stadium and not have to bring chairs and sit on a lawn for soccer. It holds a lot of important memories, and it is also one of the first professional sports in America. It started in 1839, and it has grown. And so it's very important that we remember that and watch baseball. And the cultural influence, there's so many movies that have been created about this sport. We have The Sandlot. We learned how to make a s'more. You want a s'more? Some more of what? we learned, there's so many sayings from that movie. And You're Killing Me, Smalls, for example. It's a great movie that shows being on a team, getting out there in the field, watching the fireworks. There's also a league of their own that highlights when women went out there and played baseball while the men went to war. And we learned that there is no crying in baseball. And we also have a field of dreams. If you build it, they will come. So all these movies are really well-made movies that highlight the dreams of baseball and the hopes and desires and the bonds that you make playing. And it's very important. You don't see there's a lot of sports movies, but baseball ones have that extra edge. And there's so many sayings that we say that come from baseball. We say, oh, we struck out. We say, oh, we're next up to bat if it's our turn. Martin's up next to bat after me giving my speech. We have, when I sat down, did I knock it out of the park on the speech? Maybe not. We have big league, bush league. We have the closer of maybe we'll throw you a curveball, something unexpected happens, something comes out of left field. We also have right off the bat. There's so many, and I thought they were all good, so I thought I'd share them. I try to think, what does football or basketball have that says that we use a lot, all these terminologies, and I can't think of too many. But baseball is so relevant, and it's our pastime, it's America's sport, that we just have all these sayings and we use it all the time. And some people might think that there's no strategy to baseball. They think, oh, it's so boring sitting there. There's not a lot of movement. But there really is. You're not just two big guys going at each other. There's low contact. You're not getting physical with the players. Sometimes there might. We saw that guy slide and break that guy's leg a couple weeks ago when the Dodgers were playing. But generally, it's low contact. You're with your team, and the other team's on the other side, and there is this pressure that where it's really just the person up to bat. It's all on them. What their teammates might do after will come into play. But when you're up at bat, and you have 2 outs. And it's the bottom of the 9th inning, strike 1, strike 2, the whole game is on you. I saw that when I was watching the Dodgers lose. I was like, oh, this poor guy is up there. And it's generally easy to watch. Baseball, you can see the players' expressions on their faces. You can see the pitcher playing his mind games with the batter. You can see all of their OCD every time they have to reset up. There's a lot of strategy involved when it might appear that there isn't much going on. And there's no trick plays, really. You can steal a base, but you can't, there's no Bloody Mary or quarterback sneak or anything. It's the same thing. So, Hail Mary, not Bloody Mary. Anyways, baseball is a great sport to sit and watch. Right now we have so many sports that are on TV. You should really sit down, watch a game, reflect on when you were out there playing or the first time you went to a stadium. Think about all the terms you're hearing and how you use it in your everyday life, and really appreciate the strategy that's involved in the game. Mr. Toastmaster.